Welcome in to episode 3 of our Let's Play Humankind series, where we are specifically featuring what I'm calling the Harbor Strat. Now, if you're not familiar with what this strategy is, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, link is down in the description to episode 1 of this series, where I actually discuss kind of the nuances of what we're trying to pull off here in detail, so you can catch up on the whole series by starting there at episode 1 and coming up to speed. We are here in episode 3. Now, we have a couple of critical decisions to make as we move our way through the ancient era. We have to make sure we get the Carthaginians, so we have to not drag out our time too much in the ancient era. Normally, I like to spend a little bit of extra time in each era collecting stars. We're going to spend just enough time to get our havens in and be appropriately set up for the next era and as playing as the Carthaginians. So we need to start focusing on getting havens in, but I want to talk about a little bit off the bat here why we're not actually putting havens in right away. We'll talk about that when we get in game so I can demonstrate it. The other thing we have to think about is we've got an aggressive free peoples that just settled near us, and we also need to start thinking about how are we going to get our cities arranged specifically. We talked a little bit about this in the last episode, but do we put in another city and get up to 3 in order to maximize some influence gains and different things before we start putting havens in or not? And that kind of is one of the questions we need to address today. We're also in kind of exploratory mode as well. Out in the oceans, we're trying to figure out, can we meet somebody to start our trade operations? We're also trying to get our religion off the ground. So there's a lot of things going on here in the ancient era that we need to figure out and discuss, make sure that we get in play as we continue through. But we don't want to get overly caught up in that and miss out putting our havens in and making sure that we're all set to move up and get the Carthaginians, because we need the Carthaginians to make the strategy work. And in my opinion, the Carthaginians are one of the more powerful civilizations in the entire game of Humankind. So let's jump in game and kind of take a look at and see what are some of the different things that we need to be looking at as we start in towards the middle portion of the ancient era here and get things done to head properly towards our next era. Here we are at our capital city once again in Byblos. Now, one thing that I noticed very quickly as I loaded in, I was like, oh, look, there are 2 curiosities right next to our capital. That would probably be something that we should take advantage of. Unfortunately, our army in the north, we actually sent over here. And so we don't, our unit in the north, we sent over there. And our southern units are pretty far away and kind of dealing with their own stuff right now. So I think what we're gonna do is we have gold, we have an aggressive free peoples, which, by the way, we are fully investing in. And so we also want to think about a potential defensive army. And so as we're approaching this next turn, I was thinking before we even hit next turn, we're building an obelisk of the gods. Food is becoming slightly problematic. We're not growing very quickly in this city right now. And we're not going to be able to put any more food stuff in probably for another couple turns as we're trying to build our holy sites so that we get our religion online as quickly as we can. Because we want a couple of key harbor-based religious picks, and so we're trying to get that off and running as soon as we can. So we could do a couple of things, but my thought here is we have access to archers because we have researched them. We've got an aggressive free peoples to our south. We might want a kind of baseline defensive army. Obviously, 1 archer unit is not going to accomplish that, but it will get us started on a defensive arrangement for our city. And so what we're going to do is we have the gold to do this. We're not making much gold per turn, but we have saved up 300. I think it will be valuable to purchase an archer, so we're going to do that.
The first ship is a wonderful thing. Sadly for the crew, we're likely to see the first seasickness as well.
Probably true. So the narrator just talked about how we built our first ship. This is a property of the fact that we are playing the Phoenicians, and our emblematic unit is the Bireme, or Barame. I'm not really sure. It's been discussed in the comments, so if you know how to properly pronounce it, it may be neither of those. We're going to go with Bireme because I think that that's probably more correct than what I had been saying. We have the Bireme as our unique unit. Now, the cool thing about that is the Bireme is actually a transport ship. So this archer unit, should it get in the water, becomes a Bireme. This makes the Phoenicians a very powerful pick, as we've discussed before, because they can get in the water before anyone. Way before anyone. The Babylonians are the only other culture that can actually get in the water before the ancient era, or during the ancient era, and they have to research all the way to sailing in the next era's tech tree in order to do this. Because the bireme was moved from a military vessel to a transport ship, the Phoenicians can get in the water insanely early in a game of Humankind. In fact, we've been in the water for quite some time. This unit is actually floating around outside on a different continent now because we could get in the water so early with our units, which is a huge advantage, especially on water-based maps or with there's islands to be claimed or exploration to be done, connections to be made with people. You're gonna be able to do that as Phoenicians faster than any other culture in the entire game of Humankind. So, something to think about. But it's funny that the narrator assumes that because we built a unit, and because that unit can become a bireme, it just triggers the "you built your first boat" quote, which is kind of funny. I doubt that will ever get fixed necessarily, but that is interesting to note. So, a couple things that we might want to think about. Number one, in our already claimed territories where we have our 4 harbor VOC setups, right? Every time there's a 4 harbor VOC, we want to make sure we put a haven in because we have access to a grand total of a maximum of 4 harbors. So this is the ultimate spot for a VOC warehouse. But if we don't put our havens in on those territories, then we won't get the 4 harbor spots maximized because we won't be able to get them all because one of our harbors is in fact the Phoenicians' harbor. So if we don't place these now in the ancient era, then we won't be able to optimize these 4 harbor VOC warehouse spots. So before we leave the ancient era, we want to get all of our havens in on the 4 spots. The 3 spots, we actually don't need them. If we can, we will, but we don't have to have them in because we have access to 3 other harbors as we go through our strategy. Now, here's why I haven't been putting these in right away. If you put in your haven, you would get +6 food. You actually don't get the gold until it's attached, okay? You don't get the gold from the haven until it's attached because these outposts don't generate gold. They don't generate money, even if your haven is in. So we would just be getting more food. If you look at the food production here, this was an excellent outpost. They're already at pop cap. They are at 4 of 4 population in this city, and we're not planning to attach this until the early modern era, or just at the very beginning or maybe end of the era before that, because we have to get our it's gonna be Bandaris probably because we're gonna play the Swahili, but we're gonna put our haven, we're gonna put our Kothan, and then we're gonna get a Bandari in, and then our regular harbor. We don't have to do the regular harbor until the very end, but we want to get all of those in before we attach it and put the VOC warehouse in. We're not going to make our attachments until we have all of those. So we're not moving up until we hit that 4th era. We're really not going to be making attachments. And so this city is just going to burn population for a really long time. So we don't need to spend right now this influence, even though it's only 26 influence, right? This influence, we don't need to spend it right now because all we'd be getting is more food. We don't need more food because this outpost is already going to have too much food to start with, right? So we could do that. The other thing to think about is, do we put in our artisans' quarters in some of these places? Now, could be worth quite a bit. The ambergris, for example, is +5 science. +5 science is not bad. I mean, if you look at our total science per turn right now, it's 17. +5 science would be pretty massive. And in fact, it may actually be massive enough that I may actually purchase it. Because I'm like, oh man, that's pretty good. However, one thing to keep in mind when you're executing the harbor strat and in any other game of Humankind that you're playing, if you put artisans' quarters in and you buy them in with your influence or any other way, they count as a district and they actually increase the cost of any other district that you put in by, I believe it's by 10 at least to start with. So if I put in this ambergris up here, if we put this in for 35 influence, the haven, which again only costs 26 influence, which is mind-bogglingly cheap, actually increases by 10. It would go up to 36. I tested this, so I actually know that it works. And so the haven would become more expensive. So the more artisans' quarters you put in, the more expensive your havens become. Well, we want to keep our haven costs down as much as possible. That's what the harbor strat is really all about. It's taking advantage of the fact that we can buy in our emblematic district in an optimal location, and we only have to pay 26 influence for it, which is obscene. Because if we can't see this right now, but if we were in our capital and we were trying to build or buy a haven, we can't because obviously, actually, is there any... Oh, we can't see here either because we put it in already. But we could see it. Can we put a harbor in here though right now? Can't. I wonder why that is. Oh, because we have access to ours right now. Never mind. We can't put a harbor in because our harbor is currently our haven. And so once we pick the Dutch, we'll be able to put in our harbors. In that case, then we'll be able to actually see how much they would cost. But if you were to build or buy a harbor in a city, not for influence, but for industry or money, the cost is astronomically higher than 26 influence. 26 influence is so cheap for something. Now, here's my thought. +5 science is a pretty huge number for us right now, and it's going to get us access to some pretty nice stuff. Even more so than our +4% industry on this obsidian, even more so on some of our other things as well. As we look around at the territories that we have claimed, I think that it might be worthwhile, actually. It would cost us essentially 10 influence to put in this ambergris, but I am thinking +5 science straight up. This one would give us +3 on main plaza, which actually that does get us, but this is +5 on all cities, right? No, just base. So this actually gets us more. Papyrus will get us more because that's +3 science on main plaza. We have 2 main plazas right now. So we can actually get +6 science out of a papyrus. That's a pretty big bump. It's a pretty decent bump in our overall science per turn, and I'm wondering if science per turn this early is going to be worth the extra 10 that this haven would cost. I'm going to say yes, and also just because it demonstrates what I was just talking about, I want to show it. So let's put in this artisan's quarter. You're going to watch. The price here of this haven will increase. Now, the beauty of this is it doesn't work the other way around. If you put the haven in, the price of the artisan's quarters does not change for whatever reason. I don't understand that mechanic specifically, but it doesn't change. But when you put these in, the haven's price does increase. So that's why you always do havens or other districts first, and then you put in your artisan's quarters for the most part. But I'm gonna demonstrate this right here because I'm gonna take this +6 science. This +6 science per turn early. It's really impactful. So we're gonna put this in. Also gonna get us a +1 gold. But again, that gold is not actually necessarily going to be getting us anything because this is not an attached territory. But let's grab the science at least from this, right? So that's 35, and now boom, our 26 cost haven is now a 36 cost haven, right? So it's just something to think about when you're trying to maximize and optimize your influence early in the game. The order in which you put things in does actually matter. Now we'll be able to check our science. We're up to 23 per turn, which is, again, +6 science per turn early on like this, pretty huge. So we're going to keep an eye on some of those things as well. But now I think we're actually ready to hit the next turn button finally for the first time in this episode, because I think we've talked about all the things I wanted to talk about. I really want to meet whoever this is and develop a trade relationship. We also need to make sure we get these guys so that they won't attack us. And we're actually just going to continue investing. We're actually pouring our money and influence into this right now, and that's because we're going to get some big bonuses when we get access to our treaties. When we get access to the science collaboration, that's +16 science. That prior to us putting that papyrus in, this would have nearly doubled our science per turn, which is huge. So we want to get the science collaboration in, and then we're actually going to assimilate them into our empire as our 4th city. But I think we want to get our 3rd city down first. And I believe our 3rd city is going to go right in this territory right here. This territory here is going to attach to our capital. And then this is going to be our 3rd city. So city number 1 is our capital. City number 2 is over here that we just put in last episode, Sidon. City number 3 is going to be this one here. And then city number 4 is going to be when we assimilate this free people. So that, I think, is the order we're going to do it in. So we have to figure out what the cost is to put our next city in. Our next city cost is 510. So that's going to take a little bit to save up for. So we have to start making determinations of, are we going to get that claim and that city in soon? I think the argument for that is yes, but we're going to keep an eye on... Yeah, there's a lot of people that could move up already. Oh man, we might be... I didn't look at that. There's a bunch of people who could already move up. Holy smokes, look at their fame scores. Wow, we are falling behind drastically in this game. Well, we're playing on Humankind difficulty. I was interested to see, will the harbor strat work on Humankind difficulty? This might get really tough, because if the Carthaginians get taken, then we basically just have to move up and take the Carthaginians. Like, we have to save scum to that. So we may want to get our... Okay, that changes my mind, actually. I'm not going to put the third city in yet. The third city, we're not going to save up for that. So we're just going to go claim all of our 4 spots. So 4 spot here, 4 spot here. We need to get those claims in. 4 spot, there was one here. We already own that. There's not one here or here. There is one here. So we need to get this claim in. And there's not one here. There's not one here. There's not one here. There is one here. So we need to get this claim in as well. And that's all of our 4 spots, I believe, outside of any islands. So we actually need to get troops moving in that direction actively, because we want to get those claims in so that we can then put our havens in. Because we're gonna have to move up much sooner than I thought we might, is what I'm thinking. The Danakil Desert has been discovered. All right, we grew in one of our... Oh, it's Sidon. Perfect. So Sidon is expanding. We're going to go collect... I'm going to go collect this one first. This one's a riskier grab. We can sneak into their territory, but we do have to get into their territory to get it. We're going to go grab these. These guys, we're grabbing those. We do have a bear that's kind of sitting out over here. We could still try to grab a kill on. Probably damaged enough that this guy could just take him. And we actually need to get claims in, right? So we want to go over to places where we have those 4 claims. And we're just going to start claiming those territories, because we want to get those up and running. This one is going to be the most expensive claim, because it is not connected to a city. That one's going to be our most expensive one. So I wonder if we just do that one first. We'll cut through here, kill the bear, claim this territory. These guys can go up here and claim this one. We'll split them. One of them can probably go and get a claim in on this island. And one of them is going to go claim this. And then our archer can take care of these 2 claims up here. I think that's how it's going to go. But we need to start getting these claims in and get our havens down. Kind of... Oh my gosh, there's another one over here. There's 3. That's beautiful. Okay, so that's what this guy's going to do now. Now that he grabbed that, we're going to bring him back through the city and fight the bear, I think. Just get him on river to start with. Let's see. These guys, I think we're going to split. Let's get this guy in the water. We're going to go explore the ocean a little bit. This guy's going to go up and make our claim on this land right here. Now, this will be a nice cheap claim, because that's why we put Sidon in, right? It's a nice cheap claim because it's right next to a city. Outpost claims next to a cities, in territories adjacent to your cities, are always your cheapest claims. All right, these guys are just desperately searching for a unit or a city border. We haven't found one yet, which is kind of a bummer. Okay. We have so much good stuff to collect. A blank slate. In the proud port of Sidon, a stranger has turned up that no one seems to be able to identify. Indeed, his strange garb and language are unfamiliar even to your most seasoned sailors. Imaginations are running wild as tales spread throughout the town about this mysterious visitor. He could be a most useful presence in your palace, provided you could give the citizens a good account of the stranger's arrival. What story do you tell? We can elevate him to get extra production, but minus stability. We can consecrate him to get plus 25 faith on district. Which doesn't give us much, I don't think, right now. Although that would expand our faith very rapidly. Or we could welcome him for plus 5 science for 10 turns. Welcome sounds probably like the best option right now. Although, man, this is actually interesting. A 25% faith increase. How much faith are we generating right now? A 25% faith increase means what for us? This is our capital. It should be generating the most. It's generating 6 faith currently, so 25% of that is going to be another, what, 2? 2-ish? It's not a ton. But it is also a substantial amount if you think about, like, percent-based. 25% is a lot. I wonder if that actually helps us more than the science right now. It's only 25% on district, though. What does this push us towards? collectivism we actually don't want to go towards. Okay, we're just going to take the science one. All that to just take the science one. All right, next turn. All right. Sidon has converted to our religion. We also need to name our religion. Okay, we've grabbed that. We're going to come back and grab these two down here. Or are we going to grab this one right away? Or no? Maybe. Grab this one same turn. We got to get those claims in, though. Must get claims in. Let's see. 3 turns left in our pottery workshop here. Let's make sure... How's growth going? In 1 turn, we'll have growth, and we're going to split that person into industry. So we need to make that change. So I'd like to go split on that. All right, let's see. Where are we going to claim here? Let's explore the water first before we decide where we're going to put the claim in. Probably going to be right here, though. Actually, no, it'll probably be on top of the science, right? Because then we get the science right away. And then we instantly have, like, right here, unless there's more connections, like, there's instantly a perfect VOC in these territories. So we're gonna find out what all this is gonna cost, because we're quickly gonna run out of influence as we go here. I'm still sold on that we made the right call. I think we made the right call, getting our second city in. We may, after we get this to 20, I may pull the influence out of this and just stick with gold. I might pull the influence on this so that we can generate more influence. I want to get them so they don't attack us first and get that science agreement. I might not do the science agreement because I think we need our influence. How far in this little inlet goes. What is this? This is a wild little spot. Is that a continent break?
At the catch.
I haven't been able to see anyone and I'm already through there. I guess this guy is just becoming a sailor. He's just going to be sailing. Alright, I don't think anyone has moved up yet.
Forward. From mundane tallies of crops to recording the wisdom of sages.
Right.
Humankind now wields the most powerful tool of all.
Writing. Now, we did not get... Wow, we have a move up already. On turn 38... On turn 38, we have someone moving into classical era. Sarge, 100 games, 100 days. Oh my gosh. And that is actually the person whose territory we're exploring right now. Zhao to Axumites. So we're fine with that. As long as it doesn't say Carthaginians down there, we are fine. But man, if someone picks the Carthaginians, I will be furious. This is the problem with trying to execute a very specific strat in Humankind. Humankind is not really meant necessarily to be played where you already know exactly all of the cultures you're going to pick, because you really have to rush to get them, especially if you're playing at Humankind difficulty. Okay, so we've got different things that we can do now with writing. Writing is definitely potent. So we'll plug along here. Right, so I think this is the end of the territory. Oh, okay, so actually we might want to put... Oh, that's nice. Where's our best claim here? 78 to claim. This is an expensive one. These are both 4-3s. But we get the science, right? Outposts give us the science. So we'd actually get the 3 science on that, I think. Because outposts extract everything. I think. 2-6, 2-6, 2-6, or a 4-3. I think I'm more about the 4-3. But we can let's grab this to start with. Oh, we didn't have to move it to grab it. That's okay. We're going to grab that, then we'll come back. We're probably putting it down here on the hot springs. And then, or unless the hot springs is removed because we put that might actually happen. I can't remember. We'll find out, I guess, because I think I'm going to put my outpost here. We'll see if we get 3 science from putting it down on that. Or we're supposed to put it here so that we just work the tile. I don't actually remember the answer to that question. We'll find out. All right. Our archer is away. We do have this to grab. We might just buy another unit with money, honestly. And so I'm going to send the archer up to get these 2 claims in, because we got to get these 2 claims done. Where are we putting our claims is the question. This one's going to be on river 100%, probably right here. That's probably going to be our claim. So I'm just going to send our archer in this direction. The claim is probably going to be right here, because that gives us, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 river tiles, and some decent production. We could also go here, but that's only 3 river tiles. We can also go on this spot. 1, 2, 3, 4 river tiles. So this gets us the most river tiles. For sure. I think we're going to put it down on that spot. Relatively certain. And claims here are only going to be 53, so only 53 influence. But you can see we've only got influence to put a couple of these in right now, so we really do want to crank through all of that. All right, this guy is coming up into this territory, which is the one we want to claim. Our claim is probably going to be here, so let's just get him on river. We're probably going to claim right here. Or, oh, here. What the heck is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 5 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is also a 5. So it's one of these two spots. Or over here. Oh my gosh, this territory is just lush. Here, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we got multiple 5 spots for rivers. That's gonna be very nice.
Acknowledged. Yes.
Okay, I don't think we're gonna make this trek, but we might. I might try it. See if there's other things here. Look at this little inlet right here. Fascinating. There might be land worth taking. The growing faithful. The Empire's religion grows. More and more followers coming into the faith every day. Some practice their beliefs through ceremonies led by priests, while others guide their own worship. It is time to give blessing to one of those means. Minus 30% a religious district industry cost. This is very powerful, and we will definitely use this at some point. Probably would be useful, would have been useful a little bit ago when we were building our first holy site, because minus 30% religious district cost is really nice, and some emblematic districts are also religious, so you want to pay attention to that. This is usually very, very powerful. Procession actually is decent to keep your city in with good stability. You can spend money and turn it into stability effectively with procession. But this is a big one. We're not going to take it right now because, again, our influence is super precious to us, but it's something to think about. And then we also potentially at some point want to up our city cap. We don't have to do that now because we're at city cap, and we don't need this one either right now. We're not worried about those because, again, we're saving influence. We still have 4 turns left on our holy site, which is kind of a bummer, but, you know, what are you going to do? All right, let's go to our tech tree. We could start down on the southern part of our tech tree, which is where all the military stuff kind of usually is. Or we could start gaining access to some trade-based stuff. Now, sailing, we could get access to the Pentaconter. Trade expeditions is where you'd get access to naval transports normally. I think, because we're going to want artificial reservoirs and hydrology relatively quickly. So what I think we want to do is research irrigation and the wheel, because that's going to get us to hydrology faster. So I think we're going to trend in that direction. Fishmonger will also be very, very useful for us once we're trading. We're not currently trading. Also, stoneworks could be valuable. But access to the public fountain and the flood irrigation are big. So I'm going to go irrigation into wheel, and we'll see where we're at that point. We might even be looking to move up and go to hydrology after that. 137 gold. Growth is still... Oh, wait. Oh, wait. No, it's fine. Let's put it into science, though. Let's switch to expert policy here and go science over gold. Where did that person go? Oh, did we not have everyone on food? Whoops. Okay, so let's go to expert policy here. We're going to max out food and industry and then rock and roll. I think... We've got 3 turns left on that. Still debating whether we buy out, like, another archer unit. We couldn't right now, but we could save up for another archer unit, potentially. That was actually getting us a lot more gold to have that person working gold, but I think science is more important. Alright, let's end turn. I'm not gonna buy a scout unit, I don't think. Treaty available. Alright, so here's where, under normal circumstances, I would take this science collaboration immediately, because plus 18 science, that almost doubles our science output. And so I would usually take this right away. However, because we're under threat of someone taking the Carthaginians basically at any time, I am going to save all of my influence for the time being. I'm going to save all of my influence for getting our territory claims in and getting our havens down so that we can make a quick move up if we need to. If the Carthaginians happen to get snagged at some point. So I'm not going to do this. Normal game, 100%. I take this science collaboration. That's huge amounts of science. Big amounts of science. I am also, now that they're not going to attack us because we hit the first treaty level, I don't think you have to sign the treaty. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't think you have to sign the treaty for them not to attack you. I think you just have to hit this level of influence with them. I could be wrong. So, well, we might find out. I'm also going to pull my influence. I'm going to get that 8 influence per turn back. I'm going to keep investing the gold here so that we can get to assimilate as still in some semblance of time. But I'm going to pull out the influence so that we're getting that to use in other places. Okay. We'll keep our people moving. This guy is looking for his bear friend and is going to go get this claim in as well, right? I think we just move him here to start with. The bear is somewhere around here. We also want to get... This is the claim, right? Because here's our 4 spot. Or here. We got multiple 4 spots we could do. Probably we do this one. Although that science gets extracted, I think, by... But depend on the harbor. I can't remember. We want to probably be on river. So... Actually, we're probably looking at putting it in right here. This is probably the spot. It's probably right here. Or here. Because we got 2 rivers there. We got 3 if we put it here. So this is probably the spot actually right here. I'm willing to bet. Now this is going to be this is a spendy one. But yeah, that's a 916. That would be a 6. That would be a 616, which is not as good. That is a huge outpost. 916 is monstrous. So I think I'm just gonna put it in, right? I think we just put this in. I know it's one of our more expensive claims, but it's not gonna get cheaper. It's not gonna get any cheaper. So I think I'm gonna slap this one in because that's one of our 4 spots. That gets us one of our territories down. And now this guy can go and grab curiosities. Okay. 1 down. 1, 2, 3. 3 to go. 3 to go, and then any islands that we want. So we got these 2. We got this one. We already claimed this guy. We already claimed this guy. We already claimed this guy. So we need to look at islands next. So we need to get people out into islands to see if we can't snag like an island over here. Probably would be good. So maybe that's where this guy will head. This guy will collect these and then head to islands. I don't know if we'll have time to do that, but we're gonna attempt it anyway. All right, this archer is headed straight for. Well, let's put this down. Yeah, 1110, I believe, is gonna be our spot. And it's got the most. 63 is the cost on that now. So we are, as we put more in, the cost goes up. Let's get on river. We're going to get him over there. We're going to get that claim in. This claim is going to be another expensive one. This claim will be cheap. This claim will be expensive. This claim will be cheap. Any islands are also going to be expensive. And then don't forget, we also need the influence to put in our havens as well. We need to get this guy. I believe he's going to go here. Although we're in territory now, right? So we could actually find that. Yeah, right there. 17-8, so let's just maneuver him in that direction. Now for curiosities, there's another curiosity, so we want to go grab as many of those as possible too. Alright, I think we're going to make a quick trip, a quick jaunt over here. We should only be able to move, what, like 2? And then if we don't see... Oh, we can move another? Oh, that's rough water, though. If we see... So the guy dies if he stays in open water. Right now, we can move back and be safe. Do we risk the one further move to see if we can... Yeah, I guess we can always, because we can always move back.
Ready, all, row.
Yes! Okay, so we can keep this guy going now, which is excellent news. I'm also wondering what the heck this is. This could be the New World, if there's no one on it, potentially. In which case, we may want to start taking a look at what we're going to do to settle that. Alright, we could put... if this would lower that to 1 turn, actually, I'm totally down for that. Does it lower it to 1 turn? Not quite, but we'd end up with a bunch of surplus. I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to put this construction into this so we can free up our capital to start building other things as well. And then we're gonna truck along here. Alright, irrigation is good. Like that we have irrigation. We're going to move our units along. This guy is here. There's more continent here, but I want to get this island claim in. And I do think I want to claim... I'm going to claim this spot. I want to see if we get the science from it. It's got the better stats, right? That's a 2-8. Oh, well, 2-8 might be the claim here, actually. We might claim this. 4-3 or 2-8. That's gonna be a nice slow-growing one. Then we can put our VOC warehouse here, surround it with the harbors here. Yeah, that's not a bad play. I think we're gonna put it here. 88. We could get it in right now, actually. And we're standing here, right? We have to start putting these down. I think we just start doing it. We just gotta start putting claims in. 88 is still only, what, like 2 turns, bait? We can get that back in 2 turns. Let's put it down. Let's just do it. Let's just pull the trigger on it. Alright, we did it. Trigger pulled. Alright, we got 2 outposts in. We're gonna go grab... Let's grab... Oh, these are really in bad spots. Let's grab... We'll grab this one first. We get this one in 1 turn, though. Oh, nice. Was an influence one. Oh, sweet. All right, then we'll come back this way, and then we'll cut him back towards the other island set. This guy, oh, do we have enough to put this in? Yeah, probably, because of that. Yes. 17, 8, 15, 10. Ooh. Almost same difference. I'm going to take this one, because it gets us an out for districts without taking up food spots. We're just going to put this in. Done, we're down. Another outpost in. This guy needs to move here, so he is now safe. We didn't meet... I really wanted to meet early, but I think we're just going to keep this guy going now. I think this guy just continues... we're just going to try to circumnavigate for fame, I guess. Is what that guy's going to do. Alright, we are going to go to wheel, because I do want access to... hydrology. As soon as we move up, pretty much. Okay. Turn 40 is done. Moving this guy, I guess. There's not going to be any other claimable islands until up here. This guy's going to jump in water and look for islands up in this direction. I guess this guy's just going to go the other way for circumnavigation purposes. So let's just get him in the water. And we need 85. We need 1 more influence to get this in. So these guys are just going to hang for that 85 influence claim there.
Will do.
Interesting. Okay. So we're exploring far and wide. This settlement is in. That was one of our 4s. And so we're going to grab this curiosity. And then this guy's going to get in the water. Okay, no islands here. There are islands here. That one might be connectable if it's an island. So we might want to go... This is also potentially connectable. Can we get in the water? No, we'll have to do that next. Alright, Byblos is done. Oh, so we did, in fact, finish the holy site in just that 1 turn, that's really nice. So, we now have choices in our capital. Growth is going quite slowly, so I would love to get more... food. So, let's start thinking about that. We have plenty of stability, so we could build a district. The granary gets us +6 food. The animal barns would get us +6 food as well. Maybe +7. I think I want to put the horse ranch in. We're gonna go horse ranch into animal barns, probably. Most likely. Sidon, on the other hand, got their pottery workshop done as well. And the holy site. They helped with the holy site too. Now, their stability is much less. So we may want to focus on building... Oh, we need to... let's get their growth back up again. Stick them over there. And we'll put them on expert policy. And then we'll just shift this guy over. Because we want the next one to go into food as well. So we probably don't want to put a district in for them. So we probably want to go into granary so we get that extra farmer slot and +2 food per farmer. +2 food per farmer is actually like a really big amount. So we're going to go into granary for them. It's going to be a long build, because their industry is not particularly great in this city currently. We could also think about putting this in. It's +2 industry, so it's just not worth it. All right, let's end turn. We have 154 gold, so we got to be thinking about that. Oh, we got influence. We could have actually put that, we could have put that thing in. Ah, see? This, remember we were talking at the very beginning of the episode? We were talking about this. They're already losing pop. They're losing. They're going to be in a lose growth situation for the rest of the time because this is such a good outpost. This is such a good outpost. All right, looks like it's just oh man. Well, I mean that's the move, right? We're going to go in here. We're going to grab this curiosity. I guess we're getting on land right here. We might as well start looking for curiosities, right? This is what this guy's going to do as well. He's just going to get. He's going to find land, and if it's free land without like claims in it, then we might as well start looking for curiosities in different places. All right, so we got this one. So these guys are going to go this direction. These guys are ready for their haven as well. Once we get all our claims in, then we can start working towards our havens. We should actually... Well, we can't move up yet, so I can't actually tell. I can't believe we've got move-ups already. That is wild. All right, so we can put this one in. This is a cheaper one. It's... Oh, man, it's 85 now? That's right. It's 85 for a connected attachment. So this is getting... It's getting spendy. It's getting very spendy. So let's put this in. All right, that one's in. We got to get this one yet. And then we have all of our 4s, right? This one does not have a 4. That's a 3. This one also only has a 3. This one only has a 2, actually. You know, there are potential city settle. We could actually put a city here. But that's fine. This one is claimed. It's got a 4 spot with the lake. This one has a 4 spot over here, so we want to claim that. There's no 4 spot here. This is just a 3. We already have this 4 spot claimed. We got this 4 spot claimed. And, well, it's got 2 4 spots, actually. And then we claimed this one down here. This is only a 3. This one's only a 3. We got a 4 spot claim in down here. So yeah, so we got this one as our last one we need to claim in, and then we can start getting our havens down and be ready at any time, basically, for a move up, essentially. These are not... No, these ones are connected. Let's go see what that is. That does not look like an island to me. That looks like a continent. But we'll go check it out anyway. Alright, we're gonna grab... Oh, come on! There's no way you should have done that. They should have moved on to land that turn. I'm sure of it. Okay. So we got our horse barns, our horse ranch in. That's gonna get us a couple more foods and things. And then we get 6 food and 6 food. So 6 food out of the animal barns and 6 food out of the granary. I'm gonna go animal barns first because it actually, animal barns increase all of our farmer's quarters. So every farmer's quarter we put in after that is gonna be good too. The extra working slots is good, but we're not pushing pop cap, so technically the granary is probably the better of the buildings. But when we're not pushing pop cap, we're gonna go ahead and go... I'm gonna go animal barns first. Why? I love animal barns. We're gonna put that in, and we'll end turn. And there it is. I'm furious. Icarus has moved from the Egyptians to the Carthaginians. That's a nice move. It's a great move. I love Egyptian to Carthaginian is wonderful. But that is game breaking for us. And actually, we couldn't even play. How many turns do we have to go back to get access to that? That is infuriating. Okay. So, we have to go back. There's no way we're going to get them. There's no way we're going to get the Carthaginians in this game. The whole harbor strat is broken now. If we go back, I'm pretty sure that Carthaginians just get picked again. I don't think we could go back enough turns to, like, get the AI to make a different decision. And we don't even have the stars. We don't even have the stars to be able to move up. So even if we put all of our havens in that we could right now, we don't even have the stars to be able to move up. We're a tech away from another science star, and then we would need one more star. So we'd have to make an attachment. We can make an attachment. That's going to cost us influence, so we're not going to get our havens in. Oh! So I ran this risk when I ran the game this way, right? We could have played this game on, like, the easiest difficulty setting just to show off the strat. And that would have made it so that we got to move up first every time, because that is a thing that you could do in Humankind. If you play on lower difficulties, you could actually pick to move up before all of the AI, and so you kind of set the pace for your game. Which, if I was trying to just show off the strat, I really probably should have done. So now I have a decision to make. Do we attempt to go back? I think we have to attempt to go back. So if they moved up, if we got the indicator that they moved up this turn, that means they moved up last turn, which means we have to go back 2 turns ago to turn, what, 41? We have to go back to turn 41 and move up on that turn? Let's run a save. No, it doesn't really matter. Let's just run a load. We'll just load up turn 41. We'll load up turn 41. Ugh. I think this is going to be just a regular occurrence during this particular series. I think we're going to be save scumming a lot and then running maths on how to get the cultures we want. So unfortunate because it's kind of random. I mean, we can't move up. How are we getting? Okay, so how are we getting us to a move up scenario? We can run an attachment. We can run an attachment. So if we put, I don't want to run an attachment. That's such a bad idea. How many havens can we even get in if we were gonna move up? This isn't even in. This was the turn we were actually waiting on this. So those guys would still have to wait.
Yes. Understood.
I wonder if it. Let's first do this before we do anything too wild.
I'm on it.
Let's first do this. Let's see if the Carthaginians get picked again. I am relatively certain that once the AI is on a particular path for a game, I think they stick with it. So I kind of doubt that it will change the path that gets picked. But we'll at least know. Let's confirm that that's the case. If we then... So if we have to... What could we get to be able to move up? Builder Star? Builder Star would require us to build... But we could put in some cheap constructibles. We're going to get the science soon-ish. Agrarian would help. A single attachment would actually do it as well. I mean, we might have to just run an attachment in order to pull this off, depending. But let's do that. Let's do that on the next save scum if we have to do it. It might even be something that I take and I think about what we're gonna do after this episode is over, because we are approaching the end of the episode. So I might let's just play it out, see if the Carthaginians get picked again. If they get picked again, I will sit on it for a week and see what we want to do with this series, because you gotta have the Carthaginians for the strat. That is such an early move. Okay, so let's play this. Let's play this as if we were playing it normally. We're just gonna put in the horses. That's gonna get us closer to a builder star, and we're probably actually just gonna buy out then, like an artisan's quarter, to try to get us to a build star. So we just want something cheap here if we can, which we don't have anything cheap here. So we're just gonna go granary again here. And if we end turn here, this is actually probably, again, like the point of no return, potentially. Oh, we have 94, so we could put... So again, we wouldn't actually spend that 94 here. If we have to try to move up... I mean, we don't even have a shot at the stars. So I just don't think it's possible. If they pick the Carthaginians again, I don't think it will be possible for us to execute this strategy. which is a huge bummer. I think because I know there's a curiosity here, I'm just gonna get on land. Is that cheating? Maybe. Oh, the frustration. Because right now, on this turn is when Icarus's AI was picking this, right?
Alright.
And so we'd actually probably... The Carthaginians probably aren't even available right now. Even if we were to, like, do everything in our power to move up at this point, I don't think we'd be able to do it. So we have to hope and pray somehow that the Carthaginians don't get picked. And we're about to find out that they're definitely going to get picked. Like, that's... I'm sure that's what we're going to find out. All right. I mean, I guess we could put in this. I think we work animal barns again. We'll rinse repeat. Yeah, Carthaginians. Ugh. Well, I don't think there's any way we can get the Carthaginians. I mean, even if we go back, how far back would we have to go for me to get the Carthaginians? I'm going to do some testing. I'll do some testing over this next week before next week's episode. Next week's episode will either be a continuation of this, but from a while ago, or it will be a brand new start, because I can't show off the strat if I can't get the cultures. And that's such an early move to the Carthaginians. Really a bummer. It's really a bummer. I'm furious. Ugh. Okay. Well, enough about me being furious. That is going to be the plan. Thank you for tuning into this episode. I'm playing it exactly the way I want to play it. That's the thing. I'm playing it exactly the way I want to play it. A turn 42 move up to the Carthaginians that's killing me. That is killing me. So I'll see. I might be able to go back to like maybe the start of this episode and play it a little differently so that I can get a very fast move up and just get as many havens in as possible. It's still not going to be perfect because I'm not going to get all of them in. But if we play it a little differently, maybe even a little differently with the free peoples potentially, we can at least get like 3 or 4 of our havens in. But I also got to get the stars to be able to move up. So I have to think about the process for that. I'll have to run some maths and things. If I do that, I'll let you know all the things I did off of the episode to make that happen. The other likelihood is I can't make it work, and we will just fresh start the strat. Because I want to show off this strat. If I have to fresh start it, I'll have to be looking for another map, but I'll have to turn down the difficulty level as well. I'll just turn it down to where I get to move up first, so it won't be it won't be a competitive game, because we'll just roll over the AI, but at least I'll be able to demonstrate the strat. And so we'll see. That may be probably the play, because then I actually get to guaranteed show off the harbor strat. So stay tuned. Next week, we'll find out. Do we get to continue this game, or do I have to re-roll in order to get the Carthaginians? That will be in the cards. We'll see what happens. If you enjoyed the content, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel to find out what happens next in this high-octane episode of Save Scum Humankind, where we can't make anything work because the AI is choosing all of our cultures. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you watching the episode. I will see you next week.